Good morning and welcome to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, Calvin Butenhoff coming to you scattered all over the state of Wisconsin. Calvin and Greg are at our studio in downtown Waukesha, and I am coming to you live from our world headquarters here at Civic Media, high above State Street in beautiful Madison. How are you guys this morning?
It's interesting, I gotta say. We're like, I mean, I know that Calvin's right, literally there, but I do feel like we are all over the place.
Seriously,
it's interesting. But the Madison headquarters. If you're watching the live stream right now, which you can do by going on Facebook, X/Twitter, or on YouTube, it is gorgeous and just full of space.
Yeah, it's a beautiful studio. It really is. And they have our logo up behind me and everything. And we got this nice spacious room, and I can see State Street from here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's part of our On the Road with Jane and Todd tour. Todd Alba and I, after Todd's show today, he's on the air, of course, from noon until 2 o'clock. And once he's done, we're going to hit the road and we're going to head to Richland Center. We will be broadcasting live from Richland Center tomorrow, and then in Eau Claire on Thursday, wrapping it all up in my favorite place I have yet to go, Amory, Wisconsin.
Amory.
Because I just have this vision of Amory is going to be everything I've always wanted a place to be. And I know it's going to come through for me.
Absolutely, too. I believe in the vision, and I can't wait. And then one day you're going to be like, we're packing up the house. Where are you moving to? We're moving to Amory.
We're moving to Amory, exactly. So we will have more details. Todd's going to join the show coming up at 10:33. So we will talk about where you can come out and see us over the next couple of days. At 11:06, Lisa Schiller from the Better Business Bureau will be here. If you're going to be doing some traveling this summer, and a lot of people are, some tips about how to keep yourself safe, especially when we're talking about buying travel insurance and even hotel booking scams that you want to be aware of so you don't fall for some of that stuff. So that is all coming up. And of course, next hour, our Scotty Summer statewide text to win contest. Right after the 11 o'clock news, I will give you a word that you want to text in via the Civic Media app. So if you don't have it yet, go to wherever you get your apps, go to your app store, download the Civic Media app, and then when we ask you to text it in, no matter what station is your station, if you're listening in La Crosse or Eau Claire or in Green Bay, you can text in to that station. Everyone has a chance to pick up an hourly prize for every hour that we play the game. That is a Wisconsin Dells Summer Prize Pack. Every day, one person picks up a pair of Milwaukee Brewers club level seats. And then we're going to have 2 grand prize winners to pick their staycation, either Fort Atkinson, a cottage on the lake, including a pontoon boat, stay in Lake Geneva at the Harbor Shores, and a Door County stay at the Ridges Inn and Suites. Everybody, whether or not you win an hourly or daily prize, will be in the drawing for these 2 grand prizes. And we also give you gas to get there and back. Some places might just give you gas to get there.
I was going to say, that was my big problem is I can't go on a vacation, Jane. No gas.
Right.
Also, stick around and we'll tell you how you can actually get a bonus entry by being a part of this contest. It's both advantageous to you and to the process of our democratic nation.
Absolutely. Very well said, Greg Bach.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to start off with, you guys, it's our bad. We are bad. The media is bad media. Bad media.
Oh, we're done? I'm going to take off then. If we're bad, I don't want to be...
No,
Calvin, see you later.
It's all our fault that people have a dim view of the U.S. Supreme Court. It's the media's fault that people are unhappy with the U.S. Supreme Court. And you can take Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito's word for it.
There you go.
So this was a big bombshell yesterday. Go ahead, Calvin, play it.
As a Catholic and as someone who really cherishes my faith, I don't know that we can negotiate with the left in the way that needs to happen for the polarization to end. I think that it's a matter of winning.
I think you're probably right. I mean, one side or the other is going to win. I don't know. I mean, there can be a a way of working, a way of living together peacefully, but it's difficult, because there are differences on fundamental things that really can't be compromised. It really can't be compromised. So it's not like we're going to split the difference.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that the solution really is like winning the moral argument. Like people in this country who believe in God have got to keep fighting for that to return our country to a place of godliness.
Oh, I agree with you.
America needs to return to a country of godliness. Now,
Yeah.
It's important that we point out that this recording was made in secret by journalist and political consultant Laura Windsor. She reported to Rolling Stone, and she attended the Supreme Court Historical Society's dinner on June 3rd in order to approach these justices. And again, she portrayed herself as a conservative, aligning with their values. And otherwise, they would have said these things to her. I think that's a pretty fair assumption if she just came and said, I'm a journalist. Here's my question. Do you think we should return to godliness? And he would have kind of danced around that, but he felt like he was speaking to a fellow traveler. So, yeah, he's going to admit that. The other thing that jumped out at me when he was asked about political polarization in the country, Lauren Windsor, this journalist, asked Sam Alito how the court can restore public trust among Americans. And here's the money quote for me. I wish I knew. I don't know. It's easy to blame the media, but I do blame them because they do nothing but criticize us. And so they have really eroded trust in the court, unquote. Not your own behaviors,
No.
not your own accepting of hundreds of thousands, and in Clarence Thomas's case, millions, $4 million in trips and gifts and luxury vacations. No. That's not why Americans look slightly askew at the U.S. Supreme Court. It's because the media told you about that stuff.
Yeah, it's never my fault. It's never our fault. It's their fault. That's much said for the party of personal responsibility. That is such a terrible trope to hook your wagon onto. It's the media's fault. What is this, 2009? I mean, seriously, I don't understand this kind of behavior. I don't know. It's disgusting, and it's sad that he was just so open with it too. Like he's just like, yeah, it's the media's fault. Okay, cool.
Well, and so apparently we should just never report when they do naughty things.
No, Jane,
because they're supreme.
Yeah. And they have their own ways of oversight. They'll take care of it.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
It's all gonna be fine.
It's gonna be absolutely fine. We Jane, we do have a caller, an old friend we haven't heard from in a while. Tom from LA on the phone.
Great. Good morning, Tom. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. My question first is, when are you guys going to be in Durand, Wisconsin? That's actually where I grew up. I found 2000, not that far from Amory.
I'll write that down.
So you have to write that one down, Durand, Wisconsin. It's right in Putnam County. Also, let's not call them, even giving them a moniker of personal responsibility, what they used to give themselves. They really are victims. Everybody else's fault. Oh my God. They're the victim party. They truly are the victim party. Donald Trump says everyone does things against him, and they're the no accountability party. And they truly are. Their actions show it. George Moore, criminal Bush, in terms of his actions. I mean, go back and further even. Reagan, which had been around the time I was when I was young, was the whole thing with Iran-Contra. I mean, these guys are the most unbelievable, take no responsibility for anything. But again, as I always say about Republicans, when Republicans are spewing it, you can bet that they're doing it. And the bot projection, of course, for you listeners out there that know what projection is.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it. And the other thing too is, again, It's a woman's right to choose versus the government's right to choose. Why do you guys want the government making a choice, whether today it may be not to terminate, but in the future it could be to terminate? Why not leave that up to the woman to decide? And you know, as a Catholic myself, who is pro-life, but I am pro-life in all cases: wars, gun safety, capital punishment.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Thank you so much, Tom. We're kind of running up against the break here. Really appreciate it. Always appreciate you calling in. Yeah, I do find it interesting that the whole trope of liberal snowflakes and melting snowflakes directed at the left, and yet, again, Donald Trump is the eternal victim. Geez, he's been whining since he lost the Iowa primary to Ted Cruz.
I mean, we can call him King Trigger. A couple of comments on the live stream. Tony is saying, well, you know, if people just didn't know about my extreme right-wing beliefs, it wouldn't be a problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't tell. Why are you telling people this?
Yeah. And then Scott from St. Louis says, sure, I accepted bribes, but that's the media's fault. You know about that. Exactly. You know, if the media wasn't doing their job, I'd be doing fine. I would be going to Alaska, and my buddy's mom's house be paid for. It's the media's fault.
Go to Bali a couple times a year. Nobody would sniff about it.
Yeah.
You naughty media. You naughty. Our bad, you guys.
I guess we have to make an apology then, Jane. I'm sorry to everyone we've informed. Sorry, it's our fault.
Oh, I have an apology. We'll do it on the other side. 855-752-4842. Leave a comment on the live stream. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter, stay close. You're listening to Matenaer On Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the good times, blame it on the boogie, don't blame it on the sunshine.
Good morning and welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, Dr. Slide on the board. We are split up a little bit today. Greg and Calvin are in our studio in downtown Waukesha. I am at our world headquarters for Civic Media in downtown Madison, high above State Street. You can always join the show. You can call or you can text at 855-752-4842. That's 855-75-CIVIC. Or leave a comment on the live stream if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Quick reminder, if you are in the Waukesha area, this is really cool. The WAUK team is going to be out at the Les Paul Performance Center in Cutler Park tonight. They're kicking off the Tribute Tuesday concert series with Claptonation and Eric Clapton tribute. The concert's happening from 7 to 9 p.m. They've got concessions that start at 5:30, so you can get a snack. And that is all tonight, happening at the Les Paul Performance Center, Cutler Park, kicking off Tribute Tuesday concert series. Claptonation tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. That goes until 9 p.m., so check that out. We have been talking about Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, who was recorded. He did not know he was being recorded, neither did his wife, Marianne, by journalist and political consultant Laura Windsor. She attended the Supreme Court Historical Society's dinner June 3rd, and she portrayed herself as a conservative, a very, very conservative person, in order to ask them some questions. And Justice Alito essentially said, it's the media's fault that we have the Supreme Court has such a bad reputation among the public. So naughty us, you guys. We should just stop telling people what the Supremes are doing, because as we know, they are completely on the up and up. And
don't forget,
ethics. Who needs an ethics board? We're good on our own. It's all fine.
And we need to return to godliness, Jane. That's the only way this country can make it to come back from where we're at in these terrible times, is godliness. And thank God the Supreme Court will help us get there. By the way, we're going to have to ask you, Jane, to relinquish the rights to your body and your choices to do that. So thank you.
Well, sure, no problem. We have some clips from Justice Alito's wife, Marianne. Do we not, Greg? You want to set one of those up?
We have, I guess it's kind of like, how do you pick a favorite child?
Which clip? Ooh, they're all so good.
Yeah, because both of these are, I want to remain, with objectivity here, but the thing she said, so let's start with the one where she talks about what'll happen if you come after her. This is the wife of Samuel Alito, Associate Supreme Court Justice, talking about if you try to go after her. Calvin, play that clip.
I'm appreciating this, and everything that you're going through, I just want to tell you that,
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not okay, though. It's not okay.
It's okay. It's okay, because if they come back to me, I'll get them. I'm going to be liberated, and
What do you mean by gay?
There's a 5-year defamation statute of limitations.
But I don't know what you mean by gay, like media. Oh, okay.
Come on, I'll get you. Come on.
Yeah, that's what she said. If you try to go after her, she's going to get you, because there's a 5-year defamation statute of limitation. That's how we do things. And
she said some other pretty incredible things.
Oh, that's the tip of that. Well, I mean, the two clips, that's the opening salvo. That's the appetizer.
Oh, I mean, so then she was asked about the whole flag controversy. She was flying an upside down American flag after the January 6th attack on the Capitol, in between that attack and the inauguration, and then this appeal to heaven flag at their vacation home. So she's a big flag fan. She likes flying her freak flags. She addressed the controversy over that by saying, the feminazis believe that he should control me, so they'll go to hell. He never controls me. Wait 1 second.
Wasn't this just a dinner?
I'm pretty sure that feminists don't want your husband controlling you. I'm almost positive about that.
Yeah.
Almost positive.
They love those buzzwords.
Well, and I love that he never controls Marianne Alito, but he is the one who wrote the decision in Dobbs, but he gets to control every other woman in this country and what she can do with her body. That's fine.
Well,
that's all fine.
Yeah, he has absolutely no control over, because remember, anytime anything happened at the Alito homes, it was her fault.
Yeah.
Her decision making, all the things she did. And yes, she does love flags. She gives a little explanation. Calvin, can we play that other clip real quick?
You know what I want? I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag, because I have to look across the lagoon at the Pride flag for the next month.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, please don't put up a flag. I said, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up, and I'm going to send them a message every day. Maybe every week I'll be changing the flags. There'll be all kinds. I made a flag in my head. This is how I satisfy myself. I made a flag. It's white, and it's yellow and orange flames around it. And in the middle is the word vergogna. Vergogna in Italian means shame.
I thought she said begonia.
Yeah, me too. at
Which
first.
one? Ooh, ow, ooh,
But the way
oh,
she goes-
begonia. Ooh.
Begonia. I've seen movies in Italian. So there's two things that stick out to me on that. First of all, I never want to hear her say, "This is how I pleasure myself" again. And also, she says, "When he's free of this nonsense," is that what you see your husband's work as? Regardless of what I believe, your husband sits on the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. That is not nonsense. It is deep, deep work. It is important work, regardless of the decisions. To refer to it as nonsense,
Yeah, it's remarkable.
yeah, it's just I don't like to hook the words on, especially when you're talking to women, because I don't want it to be the typical like, oh, she's crazy. I'm not sure about this particular individual, though. This is not what seems like a well person.
It's
Begonia.
See, now I'm just going to yell begonia at everyone because I think that's hilarious.
She thinks it's Italian for shame.
The word is actually begonia, right?
Yeah, it's begonia. That's why she said, instead of saying I put begonia, she's like a begonia.
Begonia. Okay, yeah. Well, begonia to you too. And we have news coming up next. Todd Alba will be joining us when we come back from the news, and I want to share this real quickly. Sue from Franklin texting in a funny story. I was out for dinner Sunday night, and the song Jane Says came on, and I stopped and looked around thinking, are they playing Matenaer On Air, the show in here? I guess I listened to you guys too much. Thank you for that, Sue. Yes, we're infiltrating. All right, stay with us. You're listening to Matenaer On Air, coming to you across the vast Civic Media Radio Network.
That dirty rhythm fools me. The devil's got them to me. Through this dance, I'm full of funky fever. A fire burns inside me. Boogie's got me in a super trance. I don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Don't blame it on the boogie. Don't you blame it, sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Living on a boogie. Sunshine. Moonlight. Yeah. Good times. Boogie. You just got the sunshine. Yeah. Moonlight. Good times. Good times. Boogie. Don't you blame it. Sunshine. You just got the moonlight. You just wanna. Good times. Yeah. Oh, blame it on yourself. Sunshine. Ain't nobody's fault but yours and that boogie. All night long. Yours and that boogie. Ain't nobody's fault but yours and that boogie. Dancing all night long. Blame it on yourself.
Oh, wow. Hunter Biden found guilty on all 3 counts. We're having the Jim Santel on next week.
Oh, okay.
I have so many questions for him.
I mean,
So many.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not either. But it does seem like if you're a big Second Amendment person, you would be annoyed by this.
I'm more annoyed by the fact that just like if any of us had done the stuff that Trump had done, we'd already be in
Oh,
jail.
no kidding.
But just like this,
pathetic.
but my understanding, and Jim Santel a little better than me, my understanding, any one of us would have done what Hunter Biden had done. We would have been admonished, slapped in the hand, a fine, whatever.
And that would have been it.
But maybe not to this degree.
Right.
And so, while I respect what the jury did, given the evidence, and I admire Biden for saying he's not going to pardon him,
Right.
I'm not sure that if it had been one of us doing the same thing, that it would have gone this far.
Well, I'll welcome you. We'll probably start with that. And then, did you see the thing in Politico about Hovde?
Oh yeah,
We're supposed to
Oh,
be at
yeah.
that fundraiser.
Oh yeah,
I love that. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll play one of our
Oh.
play one of our Tammy attack
Oh,
heads.
fantastic.
It just gives an excuse to run it. And I'm working on a new one. Oh, the Red Yeti. Do you love it?
I love it.
Yeah. It's a fabulous thing.
Yeah,
It is a fabulous thing. Do you want me to turn
No,
this?
it'll be. I'll adjust myself.
Scooch.
I mean,
You do what you got to do, my friend. I feel perfectly safe with you.
when I ran the tilted kilt, I told my boss years later. I said I was the safest man you could have ever had run that establishment with all those girls.
Right? Yes, seriously. Yeah, so we'll talk about On the Road with Jane and Todd, where we're going to be,
Sweet.
all the things you want to show me in Richland Center.
All the sights.
All the sights.
Test 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Go away.
Go away. That was funny.
Begonia, you.
I didn't know when the Trump thing came up. You're like, go away.
Go away. Oh, God. And you heard the Begonia thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to call everyone Begonias now. She's loon. She's a loon. We'll make that the new insult. You're such a begonia. Ew.
Which is an insult to Begonia.
I know, right?
Feed the cat, grab the road mat, put the house key under the mat. Don't forget to leave.
Good morning, and welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Todd Alba, live from our world headquarters in downtown Madison. Greg Bach and Calvin Butenhoff coming to you live from our studio in downtown Waukesha. Really happy to have you along. Just a reminder, coming up after the 11 o'clock news, we will have the Scotty Summer Statewide Text to Win contest. We'll have you the word that you need to text in via the Civic Media app, and you can win some wonderful, wonderful prizes. And there's 2 grand prizes that everyone is going to be in the drawing for. So stick around for that coming up at 11:06. Todd Alba, how are you, my friend? And friendly competitor, I should say.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say, to start off, first of all, welcome. We would love to have you here in Madison. And it's great to be working together in person.
Absolutely.
Right?
It really is. It's fun.
We love to see you guys and Greg, and Kelvin down in Waukesha via the old stream. But just it's a vibe
Yeah.
about being in the same room.
Being together.
Which is to say that you're whooping me because we got the new totals for the Text to Win contest. And by the way, when you're here, the lawyers do stand outside the glass. We have to say
They're
it's
right there.
statewide.
Nice suits, by the way.
Statewide Text to Win contest.
Mhm.
You're whooping me, and so you threw down the gauntlet and you said a steak dinner to the winner, which the loser has to buy.
Exactly.
And based on yesterday's results, I'm feeling I better take along an extra $100.
Well, this is going to be a cumulative. We don't know where we are cumulatively yet. So, and I don't know that they're going to tell us until Friday.
No.
And I also heard while listening to your fine program that it has been determined that should it be a tie,
Yes.
what is going to be the resolution?
It's going to be a leg wrestling contest. Best 2 out of 3, Pat Kreitlow will be the official. And so it'll be Jane and I in a historic Lakeside Amory leg wrestle off.
I mean, perhaps I should have told you this before you decided on this. But I have a long history of shot putting, and you really need strong thighs if you're a shot putter. You know, anybody who shot puts like I do, you know, it's all in the legs. So good luck with that.
Oh, and you're.
Just
I think you're a little shorter, but you have strong. See, I think I'm out of luck if it comes to leg wrestling. So I think I better bring along the checkbook.
We are going to be in a couple of places. We're going to be in your hometown, Homestead tomorrow at Richland Center.
Yes, at Crosscut Park at the Veterans Pavilion right behind the community center. So come on down for Jane's show from 10 until 2, and then or 10 until noon, and then our show noon until 2. So come on down. We're going to have speaking of coffee.
You brought a special. This is the most adorable coffee pot I've
So
ever
I was
seen.
in Richland Center over the weekend, and Mom is loading me her 1977 percolator pot that
so
she
awesome.
won. This is a prize she won for selling Tupperware back in the 70s.
Wow.
And so we've got a percolator. We're going to have it down at the park, along with our unofficial sponsor, because we didn't ask him to pay anything. But still, our unofficial sponsor of the tour, Wonder State Coffee from the On Location shop. And we're going through Viroqua, which is the home roastery of Wonder State,
Ooh.
tomorrow after the show.
Nice.
So we'll have Wonder State Coffee at Crosscut Park in Richland Center tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we're in Eau Claire at Shift Cyclery and Coffee, and Amory at the Danielson Stage at Mike Mitchell Park.
And we both looked at the weather forecast, and it really looks great for every day that we're going to be out this week. So again, tomorrow and Friday, we are going to be at Parks in Richland Center, and then the one in Amory on Friday. So bring out a lawn chair,
Yeah.
and we'll have coffee for you.
Absolutely.
Nothing but the best. Todd brings his own coffee pot. And we'll have cups.
We'll have cups.
We'll have
cups. Beautiful, nice paper cups.
Exactly. All right.
Wait. So, speaking of,
I
want to thank you. I did this before, but in person, I have my Badger coffee mug, which will be going on the tour. But thanks to Jane, I no longer have to buy plastic water bottles because I have my reusable Yeti right here. Thank you, Jane.
Is that not the greatest thing in the world?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and
I've been using it.
I'm not getting paid by Yeti. I should. But
Not Yeti.
not. Oh, Greg Bach.
Nicely done.
I'm not getting. Not Yeti, but I'll get paid one day. I love those things. They're fantastic. We have some breaking news we want to start out with before we do a little California guy update. Hunter Biden, after 8 years of investigation by the Justice Department, Hunter Biden has been found guilty on multiple counts in the Delaware case over whether he violated the law when he filled out a form to buy a gun and swore under penalty of perjury that he was not on drugs at the time. There had previously been a plea agreement that was later withdrawn. This is the part I find really interesting. Such cases are not normally prosecuted,
Right.
as they're very difficult to prove. However, Biden wrote a tell-all book about his struggle with addiction, essentially giving a timeline of his relapse, which the prosecutor then said revealed a false statement on the form. He knew he was doing drugs. That's what the evidence shows. But you talked to attorney Jim Santel, who has the show Amicus Brief on Saturdays on Civic Media. And what was it that he told you about this case?
Well, it's just that if it had been just like in the Trump case, I shouldn't say just like, but similarly to the Trump case, if any one of us would have done what Trump was convicted of doing, we would have been in jail most likely long ago.
Long time ago.
And in this case, the Hunter Biden case, if any one of us had been accused of what Biden has now been convicted of, we probably would not have gone to a trial like this. We would have been fined heavily, slapped on the wrist, admonished, but it probably wouldn't have gone to trial. So I respect what the jury found, and I admire President Biden for saying that he is not going to pardon his son, that he's going to respect the court's decision.
Yes.
But I don't think it would have ever come to this had it not been for being the president's son. And of course, remember, unlike the Trumpster kids, Biden's kids are not part of the White House in terms of running the White House or being paid by the federal government or federal government employees.
Yeah, that is kind of an important distinction.
Kind of an important distinction.
It is. Hunter Biden was never given a security clearance, never did things on behalf of the U.S. government, unlike Vonky and Jared, who were so qualified. But anyway, now I think it's
But the
important.
stilettos in the White House in the Trump years were top notch.
They were good. But I do think it's important just to point out the difference in that people are not rioting outside of the federal courthouse, that Hunter Biden is being unfairly prosecuted and this is unfair and we should overturn it. And we're going to, and as you said, President Biden has already said he will not pardon him. So these arguments about the Justice Department being completely weaponized against Republicans has no basis.
Well, and I think that's a great point, Jane. And certainly I feel for Hunter Biden because by all accounts, he went through a very difficult part of his life, like several people do. There, by the grace of God, go I. And by all accounts, he's turned his life around. And I think it's just unfortunate that now he's going to have to go back and pay for these sins of the past because of being perhaps the president's son.
And that's exactly why.
Right, exactly. But if you want to look at it purely from political terms, this is probably, unfortunate as it is, probably a great thing for Biden in terms of political terms because of what you just said. It's awful hard to say that you're weaponizing the Justice Department against your opponent when the same Justice Department just found your own son guilty.
Yeah. Good point.
And this is not to sound funny or haha got you, but we live in a country right now where when little children are shot to death in school, we have a group of people who say, nope, we shouldn't be taking anyone's guns away. Let's arm the teachers. Let's arm the employees. Let's arm everyone who can be armed on the school property. Where was the NRA picketing for Hunter Biden saying, doesn't matter if he was under, he should be able to get a gun whenever he wants. This is a dumb law. He shouldn't have to sign this. He never should have to sign this in the first place. Where were they? They were nowhere to be found. Nobody was picketing. No one was outraged. Everyone just sort of accepted as, yes, he apparently broke the law, or he's going on trial for that, and let it move forward. And the headlines have been quiet. We got the one headline, that's it.
But you make a good point, Greg, about where was the NRA? Where are all the second 2A proponents going? You're stomping on his right to get a gun and his ability to get a gun. And what if he needs a gun? And oh no, this case is fine.
All right. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Just fine. All right. We wanted to do a little update on California guy sighting. Lake sitting, axe throwing California guy Eric Hovde. ProPublica reporting
Can
that.
you now just start calling him that, Eric Hovde?
I might call him Begonia Hovde. That'll, ouch. That'll
Begonia.
Really,
Begonia.
Eric Hovde had promised that he would attend a meet and greet at Oconto County's Copperfest parade on Saturday. Then there was a little tipster who took a picture who said Eric Hovde was in Laguna Beach, California, where he owns a home. While you cannot clearly see the man's face, and you really can't because I've seen the photo, he does appear to be with Carson Lapieto, who is president of Hovde's Bank, and he appears to be wearing the same hat, bathing suit, and beach chair as in a previous video. Hovde's campaign and the Oconto County GOP did not respond to the questions.
That's the biggest tell right there.
That they didn't respond at all?
Because if it wasn't Hovde, the first thing he would have said is, that's not our boss, and here's where he was, and here's 5 people to prove it.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that.
They did not do that, which I find this is just absolutely fantastically rich. That, the guy who has literally TV ads up right now attacking Senator Baldwin saying, well, she's coming after me, saying I'm not really from Wisconsin. Here's the high school I graduated from. The guy says he was still literally running for U.S. Senate in Wisconsin and living in California and saying, I'm not going back up there north of Green Bay in Oconto County. I'm just going to stay here on the beach at Laguna Beach in California. He's writing the ads, for goodness sake.
He seriously is.
I was talking to Pat about this earlier, and Jane hates it when I do this. But Hovde people, give me a call. It's fine if there's a schedule snafu. Todd, you've been through this. I've been through this. When you work for a political figure, there's scheduling snafus. And politicians need a vacation from the campaigning or from daily life. Both of those are acceptable. But if you were going to take a break, Eric, just be like, I love it. I love vacation in Wisconsin. There's wonderful beaches here in Wisconsin. Don't go back to your house. Not a house, but your main house. Just one of many. Come on, Eric.
Well, yes, that's the point, Greg. You're absolutely right that it wasn't that he was in his so-called house in
Madison, right?
on saying, I'm just really tired out. I need a day. I'm going to stay here on Lake Mendota. No.
Yeah.
It just proves that he actually does not live in Wisconsin. That when he
No.
goes quote unquote home,
Yes.
home is California.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they think, much like Tim Michaels,
Right.
they can just parachute in,
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, I'm from here, and I know what it's like to be a Wisconsinite. I'm genuine, but I'm never here."
By the way, just in case you're wondering, where the junior senator from Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin, was this weekend,
Was she in Wisconsin?
she was at the June Dairy Breakfast in Richland County.
No kidding.
Yes, where we're going tomorrow. So Senator Baldwin was serving cheese curds and pancakes in the beautiful hills of Richland County, Wisconsin this weekend, while Eric Hovde, OC, Orange County Eric Hovde, was on the beach in California.
That
Now,
sounds like the opening.
If that doesn't tell the whole story, I don't know what does.
That just sounds like the beginning of maybe an attack ad on. I don't know. Who knows?
Ooh.
Right?
I mean, we have a group of people who just love to give us intel in the form of ads. I don't know if we have it ready for now, or maybe listen to
We
it on
could-
the other
what-
side of the break.
Yeah, why don't we take it on the other side of the break?
Yeah.
We have an attack ad in case you haven't heard it yet from this really vicious, completely legitimate and totally real super PAC called We Got Nothing Else.
Really?
Yeah, they're
That's fantastic.
they're nasty. So
The way they deliver them are so wonderful too.
it's unusual to say the least.
It's unusual to
To
be
be
loved
loved by anyone. If you want to join
That's what's going to be the whole week. We have sequins waiting.
I'm glad I'm not on the road then.
and feathered
Oh my God.
headdresses. If you want to join us, 855-752-4842. Leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform that Elon continues to actively ruin. Stay here. You're listening to Matenaer On Air, coming to you across the Civic Media Radio Network.
Put your silver key in the micro ignition. Burn a little rubber with me. Road tripping.
We'll do a little more Eric Hovde. And then we continue. You want to talk about Robin Boss? Popcorn King is always one of our stars.
Well, I've said this before. I mean, I'm with them on the recall. I just think the recall. I'm just not a big fan of recalls. I think recalls should be essentially the same as a PE, right? Like you did a high crime misdemeanor or something that is so egregiously terrible that it's a complete misrepresentation, of who you are or what you do, or whatever.
Put your silver key
So
in
you
the
recall
micro
someone because
ignition. Burn a little
they
rubber
were
with
You made me-
on a policy.
Which is right. It's just stupid. It's just
Head
stupid.
for the nearest beach. Do a little skinhead dipping. Gonna get wild and free. Road
Yeah, imagine all the felons in the woods with their flask. With a deer rifle waiting to get their shot. Under Hunter's rules, they would be felons too.
Yep.
Thank you, Sue. good morning. Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer and Todd Alba coming to you from our studio in Madison, and Greg Bach and the Calvinator in downtown Waukesha. You can always join us. You can call, you can text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and or Twitter. This is the first day of our On the Road with Jane and Todd.
It's fantastic.
It
Here we
is.
are
It's
on
great.
State Street. People are meandering up and down. It's a beautiful day, a little overcast, but warm. We went over to Wonder State, got some coffee.
Nice. All in preparation. Tomorrow we will be in Richland Center. On Thursday we'll be in Eau Claire. Friday we wrap things up in Amory. And of course, our statewide text to win contest, Scotty Summer Contest. We will have the keyword for you to text in next hour, right after the 11 o'clock news. Be listening for that. Todd and I in a pretty tight competition.
Did you notice the words they're giving me versus other people?
I understand your word today is Shaquamagon, which is perfectly fair.
It's fine by me.
Is that a problem?
What's wrong, Todd? I don't
No,
understand.
I know nothing. I mean, something like 3-letter words, and I get register for one of mine.
Hey, Todd, we got the word cabin, and someone texted the word Kevin. So, not really.
Well,
Rhododendron is coming for you later in the week.
I think you paid off the people making the words.
I might have.
All right. Not the under. No.
Anyway, be listening after 11 o'clock. And also, Lisa Schiller will be here from the Better Business Bureau to talk about how to protect yourself if you want travel insurance, and also how to avoid hotel booking scams. That is all coming up right after the 11 o'clock news. We were talking about lake-sitting, axe-throwing California guy Eric Hovde was supposed to be at a fundraiser in Oconto on Saturday, and he wasn't there apparently.
Which, by the way, have you been to Oconto County? It's beautiful.
Oh, I bet it is.
Just north of Green Bay on the way up to Peshtigo. Beautiful part of the state.
But a tipster actually caught who appears to be California guy Eric Hovde on the beach in California with the president of his bank. And both the Oconto County GOP and Hovde's campaign did not respond to any questions, courtesy of Politico. Shocker. Shocker.
I have a question for both of you. We talk about Eric Hovde a lot, and I'm trying to figure out if there has been one success in his campaign thus far. I feel like for every step he takes forward, whether it's an ad, an interview, or anything, he takes 2-3 steps back for, having his employees pose as people in a commercial and not just disclosing that, being caught on the beach, putting out ads that are begging people to have them believe he's from Wisconsin and of the people of Wisconsin. I just haven't seen a single tangible victory for him, other than he gets to run because he's rich.
Well, and he has no policies.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all useless generalized statements and platitudes. And the latest TV commercial that stuck out for me was Tammy Baldwin is a hypocrite. Oh, okay.
Boy, you really got him.
Yeah. Ooh. Ouch. Calvin, let's play that completely real and totally legitimate attack ad that only Matenaer On Air we got to buy for. I don't know quite how that happened, but let's take that for a spin.
Wisconsin's 2 U.S. senators couldn't be more different. Democrat Tammy Baldwin keeps getting things done for her constituents. She helped secure funding for infrastructure projects like the Blatnick Bridge and made sure Wisconsin seniors can afford life-saving insulin. But Republican Senator Ron Johnson knows exactly what needs to happen to make your life better.
I think we'd be far better off if we never passed another piece of legislation.
This November, elect the wealthy California guy who sits in frozen lakes. Just like Senator Johnson, he'll work hard when he gets to Washington, just not for you. Paid for by the We Got Nothing Else Super PAC. Also, Senator Baldwin has no idea who we are and does not endorse this message.
Brutal, huh?
Brutal.
I mean,
brutal.
Ow.
And the reason it's so successful is that the person they're going after, she feeds right into it. She actually gets things done for her constituents, so she's just making it worse for herself.
I know. If she just would sit back, go to
and
a
be
beach
be like Ron Johnson.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like she could sit on a DC beach or something. I have no idea.
I mean, when you show up in Richland County, Wisconsin, serving cheese at a dairy breakfast, I mean, that just feeds into the entire perception that you're in touch with Wisconsinites and you're getting stuff done.
How is, and I'm assuming, I mean, because she does this a lot.
all the time.
She visits farmers, she visits union workers, she visits people all over the state. She actually does do that.
Well, and I think, I mean, Greg asked the question earlier. I mean, yes, I think that Hovde's campaign has been an abysmal disaster for the most part. The only effective ad, if I want to remove just from a purely political standpoint, the despicable ad where he just kind of gins up half truths and right wing propaganda and that thing where he brings the 4 beers out. I mean, that's speaking directly to his base, I guess, the Trump base, to fire them up. But on the opposite side, I think the more important story is the phenomenal job that Senator Baldwin's team is doing.
Yes.
Because they're doing exactly the right thing, in my opinion. They're telling real stories, having real Wisconsinites talk about real things that Senator Baldwin has done for
Yes.
them and make a difference in their lives. And we always, I mean, said you know, in politics, you normally you win your campaign the year before the election because it's what you're doing in your district, in her case, the state, if you're out there when you're not up for election, and what you're getting done back home for the folks, as they say, the constituent casework, and Tammy Baldwin checks all those boxes off.
Well, and I think too, like Tim Michaels, Tim Michaels, Eric Hovde have nothing to bring to Wisconsinites except I'm really wealthy. I'm a businessman. You should trust me. That's it.
Yeah.
That's really it. What were you going to say, Greg?
Well, I was gonna say we can announce today that we just confirmed that Senator Tammy Baldwin, will be on the show on Thursday at 11 a.m.
Nicely done.
talking about her latest bill to help keep business accountable, big business accountable here in the country, which has a direct effect on Wisconsinites and us taxpayers. So we are very lucky to have Senator Baldwin returning to the show, and that will be on this Thursday at 11 o'clock, starting the second hour.
And in the interest of fairness, I do understand that the We Got Nothing Else Super PAC also has another ad in the works,
Yes.
featuring completely real and totally legitimate Wisconsinites
Really?
speaking on Eric Hovde's behalf. So that I believe that's coming sometime.
Well, when you hear the words of the quote unquote Wisconsinites at Hovde's campaigns, they say, I really like Wisconsin. It's a really great place.
it is totally my favorite state.
They may be California girls.
News is coming up next. Stay here. You're listening to Matenaer On Air, coming to you across the Civic Media Radio Network.
Nice. Jump in, let's go. Lay back, enjoy the show. Everybody gets high, everybody gets low. These are the days when anything goes. Every day is a winding road. I get a little bit closer. Every day is a faded sign.
That's harsh.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning, Lisa. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Good morning, and welcome to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and Calvin Butenhoff. I am in Madison. Greg and Calvin in our studio in downtown Waukesha. You can always join us. You can leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Very excited to have our guest here from the Better Business Bureau. Lisa Schiller is here. We're going to get to you, Lisa, in just a second. We have a big contest going on. It is our Scotty Summer statewide text to win contest. Every hour that we play, one person wins a Wisconsin Dells Summer Prize Pack. Every day, one person picks up a pair of Milwaukee Brewers club level seats. Greg Bach, you've used them. You said that these are great seats.
Oh, they're wonderful. The great seats.
And like they have nice bathrooms that are right behind you and everything.
You get to be around like super duper successful people.
And we're going to have 2 grand prizes. You get to pick your staycation either in Fort Atkinson, Lake Geneva, Door County. Everybody who enters, regardless of whether or not you win an hourly or daily prize, everybody is in the drawing for those grand prizes. So this hour's word, my friends, is fun. F-U-N. Text the word fun via the Civic Media app, and you are in the running for all of those great prizes. Greg Bach, is there a way for people to get a bonus entry?
Why, yes, there is, Jane Matenaer.
What do they do?
All you do is you text through the app the word fun, and then we're going to come back to you with a question. And that question is, are you registered to vote? Answer that question, yes or no. It's not a correct or incorrect answer, though you should be registered to vote. If you're not, do it. And you will get an automatic extra entry into the contest. It's that simple. It's just that simple.
Super easy.
I couldn't make it more simple unless I came to your houses and texted it myself.
For you. Dot Alba and I do have a little contest going on about who gets the most entries. We did beat him by 6 yesterday, but this is an ongoing thing. We're not going to know until Friday after both of our shows are done who is actually the winner. So we are trying to beat Todd Alba. I understand that his word in the 1 o'clock hour is going to be Shaquamagon, which I think is perfectly fair. That's perfectly fine. The word this hour is fun, F-U-N. So make sure you enter and then make sure you get a chance to get that bonus entry. We just want to make sure everybody's going to vote.
Yep,
We
exactly.
get involved in the process. All right. As I said, our guest is Lisa Schiller from the Better Business Bureau. Good morning, Lisa. How are you doing?
Good morning, everybody. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, summertime is finally here. A lot of people are going to be heading out for a vacation. And one of the things you always see, especially if you're flying, Lisa, is travel insurance. So is this a good thing, or is this kind of like my refrigerator warranty that has never been useful for me?
Right. Well, I think that, it really depends on a number of things, Jane. Insurance is meant to protect your vacation. It's really considered like an investment or a safety net, you might want to call it. But I think it really depends on your situation. How much money are you spending? Where are you going? Are you going to Nashville for the weekend, or are you going to Europe or on a cruise? You want to know like what's covered and who might be covered. So you really have to read the fine print. And I would say shop around, ask questions, start there.
Well, and it's get a magnifying glass for the fine print, because it's almost like they really don't want. I mean, sure, go ahead and read it if you can actually decipher it. I wonder sometimes how much they actually want people to look at these things, because it seems like they make it so difficult. But one thing I think that's important to point out, Lisa, is that travel insurance is not going to apply to something like a natural disaster, right?
Right. We saw complaints coming in right during COVID and right after COVID. And I think that's what really, drew more attention to the subject is that, what's really canceled. We realized that, I think people started to realize really that insurance policies don't typically cover like the cancellation of a trip out of, fear of traveling or travel advisories, all that kind of thing. So again, really, you have to read the fine print. I say it time and time again, but you really have to do your research when it comes to some of these things. It takes a little bit of time, but it'll be worth it.
It's worth it.
And they make the insurance. Nowadays there's insurance on insurance. You buy products that come with their own warranties, and then a little pop sign for $3. Do you want to add a 28-year insurance policy? And they're just so ubiquitous now, and a lot of them are basically useless. And the only ones for me when I'm traveling, I pay any sort of real attention to is on, like, say, my flight. When the airline offers an insurance on the flight itself, which still is even not as cut and dry as they say. I recently had a flight canceled, and I was told straight up by the person at the desk, the only reason why they're going to refund me is because a canceled flight because of mechanical error is they see it as their fault. Everything else I'd have to go through miles of red tape, because and that's without any sort of insurance. So if I had insurance, there's no guarantee it would even be a better experience.
Well, I think you brought up a good point too, Greg, because like insurance on top of insurance, you might already be covered when you book a trip through your credit card company. So you have to check with your credit card company as well, because of course, if we're booking hotels and airlines and, everything else related to a vacation, we'll probably use our credit card. At least, that's what we recommend and hope. But definitely, check with your credit card company, call them, ask some questions. What type of insurance do you get automatically, if anything? A lot of people don't even realize it.
Lisa Schiller is our guest from the Better Business Bureau of Wisconsin, and we're talking about travel insurance, good thing, bad thing. The most important thing, I think, the takeaway from here, Lisa, is every policy is going to be different. and the amount of coverage that they offer and what they're going to cover can vary very widely. So, as you said, don't be afraid to call them directly to get some specifics.
Right. And I think, really consider your own situation. Do you have any pre-existing medical conditions? That's going to be a very big factor, I think, in that your age, the type of coverage, the budget, the amount of money you're spending on the trip too, big.
What about what? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, are there any red flags just to look out for as far as is there any language ever used where you can automatically I know that's wrong. I know that's bad. I just delete that email, say no to that offer because they're saying something that is, red flag language.
Right. Well, there is something called cancel for any reason, or CFAR. So you want to watch out for something like that, because obviously cancel for any reason to us means cancel for any reason. But, it may not exactly be that. You can't just maybe change your mind and decide to cancel your trip. It depends. It might depend on, how long in advance you're canceling and exactly why you're canceling. If it's a medical situation, do you have to have proof from a doctor? So, watch out for language like that, I would say.
Yeah. Got to do the work.
Yep.
You got to do the work. Lisa Schiller is our guest from the Better Business Bureau, talking about travel insurance and also hotel booking scams. Is this a big problem, Lisa?
It is a problem, Jane, and it's become more of a problem through the years. This is mostly where, you jump online and you're looking to book a hotel room. I'm going to go ahead and say also an airline ticket, that type of thing. Because what happens is, you Google, you put your, you type it in, and up pops all of these websites. Scammers use CEO to come up high on online searches. And there's a lot of fake websites out there. And boy, they can be really tricky. I mean, you think you're on, United Airlines, which is what happened to me once, or, a hotel. And it doesn't even have to be a common hotel, although those are very likely, the names are spoofed more easily and readily. But this is, generally where you have to watch out for these lookalike websites and third-party websites. It's very easy to get caught up on them and not even realize it until, you've already given your information and your credit card numbers.
So avoid fredseasyhotelbooking.com and
that's
go to
where I book all my hotels, Jane.
Well, but again, it's, as Lisa said, it's really tough because some of these bogus sites are so legitimate looking. Mm-hmm. But, my husband and I go through Orbitz and booking.com. And what other would be some reputable sites that people can use?
Oh, goodness. My mind's going to go blank. Travelocity.
I use Expedia. That's where
Expedia.
Yeah, that was on the top of my brain, but I couldn't get it to fester up. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And, honestly, this happened to me once. My husband and I missed a flight last year, and we were at the airport, and that's another story in itself. But I right away, Google, because I needed to get us on the next flight. And, I would even use a different airline if I had to, but I thought I was talking to United Airlines, because when I Googled it, the very first website that popped up, it looked like the URL, it said United Airlines. There was like one letter wrong, which I didn't realize until later. And once I realized my mistake and I had given out all my information, we were booked on the next flight the next morning, but I went home and filed complaints with the BBB, and we already had reports on this fake travel agency. And it was like a, fake United Air. Yeah. I mean, it happened to me, and I'm so, embarrassed about that, but they're good. I'm telling you, they're good.
That's
Lisa,
the best. That's the best example, though, Lisa, of your own experience and how good these people are at scamming people. And like you said, you of all people, this is your job. So I think we can all feel better that it also happens to you, unfortunately. But
Well,
it can be just one letter off, right?
Well, that's exactly what scammers do, because it works. They're one letter off. You don't even realize it. United Airlines, United Airline, that type of thing. And, they're good at what they do. They take the logos right off. They take the copy, the words that are written exactly. And, like for me, for example, I was in an airport and I was like, oh, I missed my flight. I need to rebook. We need to get out of here. And, so, you're kind of vulnerable. You're kind of, jacked up. You're a little angry. You're a little like, oh, I got to move quickly. And that's when it happens. And scammers rely on that.
Well, and you're pressed for time. You're under pressure now, and you're maybe not vetting things as thoroughly as you should, and they count on that. And that's something really important to keep in mind. I think you have some more tips for us about how to keep ourselves safe. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. Stay with us. You're listening to Matenaer On Air, talking to Lisa Schiller from the Better Business Bureau of Wisconsin. Don't forget, this hour's word is fun. F-U-N. Text the word fun using the Civic Media app to get in on the running for our statewide Scotty Summer Text to Win contest. Keep it right here on the Civic Media Radio Network. Good morning. Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and Calvin B. coming to you live this morning. You can always join the show. Leave a comment on the live stream if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or the platform that Elon continues to actively ruin on a daily basis. Our guest is Lisa Schiller from the Better Business Bureau, and we're talking about ways we can protect ourselves before we head out to travel if you're doing some traveling this summer, especially with hotel reservations. So, Lisa, there are some little clues in the URL, right, to look for that lets people know what is legitimate and what is not.
Right. You really have to pay attention to that URL, up at the top of the bar and really make sure that, everything is spelled correctly. And it makes sense. United Airlines is not United Airline. They'll try all those. We've seen it all. So be really careful that you're booking, hotels or flights through official websites. The best way to avoid this kind of scam is to check and then double check that you're on the official website. And then only makes reservations through secure websites. Look for that little lock, the little that says it's secure, or the HTTPS. The S stands for secure as well. And just look for misleading advertisements. Really great prices, big red flag right there.
Yes. $25 a night at a 5-star hotel. You may want to raise your eyebrows a bit, just a little bit.
Well, and that's something that I wanted to speak on. It's not so much a scam. It's just a very much a educate yourself fully when you use third-party booking sites. We were talking about before, there are some that are very legitimate, but where they'll say, this hotel is $75. They're going to charge you another $75, and you got to pay up front, and you're paying the same thing as the hotel if you booked a reservation. But also, my mother-in-law had experience with this. When you book through a third party, sometimes the hotel washes their hands of you, in the sense of if there's a screw up or a mix up on their end, on the third party's end, The hotel isn't responsible for taking care of you. And if you have a reservation and they say, we don't have you, and you say, but I booked through, Ted'sTravelAgency.com. They said, but you didn't book it through us. So there's not a lot we can do. We're just finding out about this now. So it's very good to educate yourself on all these sites. Make sure if you're going to use third party, use the most reputable ones, and just know, as Jane says, $25 at a 5-star hotel. Be weary.
That's right. And it's out there. I mean, those deals are out there. They'll try to lure you in any way, cheap airfare, really great, prices on hotel rooms. Yeah, don't fall for it. And like you said, I mean, really, if you take a few minutes on the front end, it'll save you, a lot of hassle down the road.
And one of your other tips too, Lisa, is if you find a booking site that looks professional, but you've never heard of it before, look for reviews on third-party websites to look out for scams. And they can also check with the Better Business Bureau, right?
Yes, please do. bbb.org, see what we have. And we take customer reviews, positive, negative, or neutral. So yeah, definitely check out what people are saying. I mean, a lot of times, if consumers have been, scammed or they just had a negative experience, there will be probably some blogs out there that, you can read about their experiences. I guarantee it. So take time to do that. Are you
telling me people who get upset on the internet go to the internet to tell us? What?
No, isn't that crazy? And that's why I always put it out there. We love to hear positive reviews too. So I'll take a second to say that. I mean, if you have a good experience with anybody, anything, restaurants, hotels, doesn't matter. Take time to write a positive review. We need that in this day and age as well.
Absolutely. And that makes such a difference. And we all love to complain. I love to complain. Everybody loves to complain. But I think for businesses, that means everything, to get completely unsolicited praise. And if they've given you good service and you had a good experience, you should share that.
We love that as well.
Lisa Schiller is here from the Better Business Bureau of Wisconsin talking about scams. And Greg and I have talked with you about this before, but I think it's worth a reminder. I got this message about a week and a half ago, a text message. USPS package has arrived at the warehouse and was undeliverable with incomplete address information. Please confirm your address, and they give you a link, and it's USPS wishes you good luck every day. Well, isn't that nice? That's so nice and warm and friendly. I did not click on that link because I did not have a package that I was expecting via USPS.
Right. But a lot of us do. Most people do have something that they're waiting for, right? To be delivered. So a lot of people do actually click on that. And I was just bringing up on my phone, I have the same message. Isn't that crazy? I saved it just in case.
Yeah, me too.
We need to use it for a TV story or something. It's crazy. Actually, you know what? USPS was the number one most impostered name reported to the Better Business Bureau in all of 2023 on a national basis because of text messages just like that. So the last 3 years, it was Amazon was the most reported impostered name reported to us. And this year it's USPS. And I've been talking to groups and they're really, they're like surprised to hear that. I'm like, no, there's so many messages just exactly like that. Most of them have to do with, we're trying to deliver a package. We can't reach you. Please click on this link, provide us information, and that's where, people are clicking on the links and putting their information in. So don't do it.
Greg, that happened to you.
I will take the baton of the story of these text messages and run him right into a big lagoon of poop, as they got me at the best time. They got me at the holidays when, of course, I have 40 packages on their way to the house. And I woke up one morning seeing the text message saying, oh, this is the USPS, blah, 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 blah. So without even thinking, because I'm like wiping the sleep out of my eyes, I click through, put in my information, and I don't think about it for about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, my whole body goes cold. I start sweating.
Yes.
I look, I click through the link, and I realize, oh, this is a scam. I've just given them all of my information because I just woke up and I wasn't even thinking straight. And I immediately ran down the stairs, falling down the stairs, got in my car, sped to my credit union and said, I need you to cancel my card. Luckily, I got to it very quickly. I canceled the card. I got a replacement card. I put a passcode on my account and I took care of it. But I am someone who consistently blocks emails, consistently blocks text messages and scammed. And if I don't recognize it and you're like, hey, are we playing tennis tomorrow? I'm like, you don't know me, block. But it can happen to anyone. It was because I woke up tired. I was like, all right, this makes sense, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and I think too, some of us, I'm pretty savvy, right?
Exactly.
I'm pretty savvy and we talk about this stuff all the time and we warn people about this all the time. We can still get sucked in just like anybody else. So we all need to be diligent about this, right, Lisa?
Yeah. I mean, and scammers are good. Let's face it. They're very good. And sometimes it's hard to stay a step ahead when, we're tired or we're in the airport and we just had a flight canceled. So, you're not always, thinking on top of your toes like you usually are. So yeah, I got to watch out for that. But yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, my husband texts me and I'm like, are you really, Tom? I mean, you're skeptical, but sometimes they get through because, you say to yourself, oh gosh, I mean, literally I have like 6, packages that are ready to arrive that I've purchased in the last 7 days, shoes and clothes. It's summer now. So, you see that text message and you go, oh, there's my package. They can't deliver it. I better give them my information. Don't do it.
Lisa Schiller, always such a delight to have you on from the Better Business Bureau. Thank you so much for joining us. News is next. Stay here. You're listening to Matenaer On Air, coming to you across the vast Civic Media Radio Network.
You do it fine. Well, come on, everybody, now let's get on board. We're gonna take the trip around the world. Come on, baby. We're gonna take the trip around the world. Yeah, we're gonna take the trip around the world. Come on, guys. We're gonna take the trip around the world. Come on, guys. We're gonna take the trip around.
daytime, I'm Mr. Natural, just as healthy as I can be. But at night, I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me.
Good morning. Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer coming to you live from the Civic Media Global Headquarters in downtown Madison High above State Street. Greg Bach and the Calvinator coming to you live from our studio in Waukesha. It is day one of our On the Road with Jane and Todd tour. That's why I'm here in Madison. Todd Alba's show, of course, coming up next from noon to 2 p.m. And once he wraps up his show, we're jumping in Todd's truck and we're driving to Richland Center. We're going to be broadcasting live from 10 to 2 tomorrow, live from Richland Center. I hope everybody can come out and say hello. Really looking forward to this. We're going to have a lot of fun. Also, we are in the midst this hour of our Scotty Summer statewide text to win contest. The word to text this hour via the Civic Media app is FUN. F-U-N. Text the word FUN, and you are in the running for a Wisconsin Dells Summer Prize Pack. One winner per day picks up a pair of Milwaukee Brewers club level seats. Everyone who enters, whether you win a prize, an hourly prize or a daily prize, everybody's in the running for one of two staycations, Fort Atkinson Cottage on the lake, including a pontoon boat. Go with that one. Lake Geneva stay at Harbor Shores, and Door County stay at the Ridges Inn and Suites. Again, the word this hour is FUN. F-U-N. Todd and I have a little friendly competition going on to see who can get the most entries. Greg Bach, how can people get that ever important extra entry?
Oh, very, very simple. Once you have texted the word FUN through the free Civic Media app, which you have downloaded on your device, you are going to receive a message from us, Civic Media, asking you a simple question. And that question is, are you registered to vote? You answer the question honestly. There's no right or wrong answer, though if you aren't registered to vote, we do ask that you do eventually before the election, because
Yes.
it's very important to make sure you are. And you can actually do that by going to myvote.wi.gov to check your registration status. And if you're not registered, you can do it there. But answer that question. Are you registered to vote? Yes or no? And then you will automatically get another entry into the contest. That is double the entries. And we were talking about it yesterday. There are 7 opportunities to enter during the day just by texting the fun word. Our word's fun, but the words are always fun. That means you get 14 entries if you respond.
Look at that.
What do you have? They're going to pay for your gas if you win.
We're even going to give you gas to get there and back. Yes, absolutely. We want you to get home. I think that's an important element of going away is coming back. So, yes, we're doing it all the way around. Text the word FUN. You have until noon. And then Todd Allo will have a new word for you coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. We have a steak dinner on the line. For whoever wins, loser has to buy the steak dinner. We should find out hopefully shortly after Todd's show wraps up on Friday when we're in Amory. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to lighten things up a little bit for the last half hour while I'm here in Madison and talk about some hard takes on food. And this is something, Greg, that we've wanted to do for a while. We've talked about this for a while. Yeah. And now there's this whole discussion going on in the Civic Media general chat. I don't know if you saw this about cilantro.
Oh, yeah.
Major opinions on cilantro, people. Like, whoa.
Shouldn't shouldn't they be, working or something?
They are. They're providing content, Greg. They're providing.
It's all content, baby.
It's all content. Yes, I can't eat cilantro. Tastes like soap. Yeah. Cilantro is evil. Okay. My brother tastes soap with cilantro. I get yummy goodness. I am not a cilantro fan.
My wife left me for cilantro.
But people have very hard opinions about certain foods. What is yours? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC, or leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter.
So with the cilantro thing, I'm pretty sure that's a genetic thing. That's not something you can control. It's going to taste like, because that's the one thing I hear all the time. It tastes like soap.
Right.
So I feel like that I've been told that that's a genetic thing. You're
really?
born with it or you're not born with it. Like I love cilantro. I mean, don't overdo it, but it tastes good to me. It doesn't taste like soap. I don't hate it. So I don't have a hard take on cilantro. I have tons of hard takes on other foods. I mean, I'll tell you one of the reasons why we brought this up is because, and I think the reason why this conversation was spurned in the chat was because Pat talked about the fact that it is National German Chocolate Cake Day.
Happy German Chocolate Cake Day.
Or if you think it's, as I referred to it, as a human rights violation, no. Because I think German chocolate cake is disgusting. It's the textures are, and I'm not really a texture guy. That's not something that keeps me from enjoying foods. But there's something about the cake with the frosting, with the pecans, with the coconut that just makes it feel like I am committing a crime. So
too many things going on at one time.
Yes, and also doesn't taste good. Just put that right on top. That's the cherry on top of the cake.
Well, you're not a coconut fan for one thing.
I am not.
You are not a coconut fan.
I do not like coconut.
What is your hard take on a food? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Calvin, any opinions on cilantro or a food in general?
I'm not a huge fan of cilantro, but I don't think I have the gene that makes it taste like soap. I just don't love it.
Yeah.
A little goes a long way.
I have two, I guess. Then they're both related to cheese on brand for Wisconsin. One is mild white cheeses are the only cheese that belongs on pizza. Don't put any cheddar or Colby Jack or anything like that on pizza. It's
mozzarella
Whoa.
Only.
Provolone's good, acceptable in some situations, but outside of that, you're playing on thin ice.
Whoa! Don't come to Calvin's house with no cheddar cheese on your pizza.
Well, it comes from my dad likes to doctor up the frozen pizzas, and sometimes he puts shredded cheddar on it, and it's gross. I don't like it.
What doesn't provolone is like the second lightest cheese on the. It's so light it floats in the air. Yeah. It's almost, and I love provolone. What does provolone not belong on?
Provolone, I think, is one cheese that can go on anything.
Yeah, I agree.
It can go on
cheese
pizza.
For all.
It's good for a cold cut sandwich. Is probably my most regular place I eat provolone.
I like it on a good meatball sub. If I'm going to indulge in a meatball sub from time to time, provolone's good on there. Now we're just going to talk about the cheeses we like. Calvin, what was your other food that you said you had a hot take on?
My other one was American cheese should not be served cold in any capacity.
I think yeah.
Only intended to be melted. Don't give me a cold sandwich with American cheese on it. That's gross.
We got a question for me on the live stream from Scott in St. Louis. Is there a specific German chocolate cake Greg hates? I grew up with Splitterkuchen. Okay, Splitterkuchen, a German cake with lots of chocolate, and it's great. Scott, here's a simple answer. If the German chocolate cake includes pecans, coconut, and a rancid, disgusting frosting, then I hate it. So there you go. I think they all have. I think in order to be German chocolate cake, they all have to have that. So gross.
I think German chocolate cake is tasty.
More for you then, and you can and then you know what? I'll get you some German chocolate cake, and I will get you a tub of German potato salad, and you can take that and destroy it, and I will never look at it again because both of those are horrendous.
We are taking your hot takes on food. Listener here in Madison on WMDX, no eggs in potato salad. It's called potato salad. I completely agree with you.
Well, okay.
Completely.
That's fine if you don't want egg in your potato salad, but that's a kind of a then you just have potato. You can't put any sort of sauce. You can't put any spice.
Well, of course you can. She doesn't want eggs in there.
That's fine then. But using the line of it's potato salad, that's not a good enough reason not to put egg in it. You don't want egg, don't put egg in it. But if that's the case, then you just eat potatoes.
No.
I'm not wrong.
Yes, you are. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. What is your hot take on food? What is your hot take on food? I worked with a guy a number of years ago, the loveliest man in the world. He was just a sweetheart. And he had the most violent opinions about celery. Celery.
What?
Which is like the most innocuous. I mean, celery barely has any taste, right?
Celery is just a wet paperweight.
But see, I like a little celery in chicken salad and even potato salad. And celery has its place, but he called celery a noxious weed. And
Okay,
I
that
just
sounds
had
like
never
someone hurt him.
I had just never met anyone with such a violent reaction to celery.
I don't understand why. Like, it doesn't, like you said, it's watery nothing. It's chewy, watery nothing.
And most of it is water. It's primarily water, right?
Yeah, it's just water. I don't understand that. That just seems like he must have eaten something as a kid and he didn't like it, and that was it. And he formed that opinion then, and there was no going back. No ants on a log. No hummus and celery. No nothing. That's it. It is your number one enemy. I thought I didn't like German chocolate cake. I don't understand why you don't like celery, but whatever. So
Donna from DeForest texting in, listening on WAUK. I just made potato salad with a hard-boiled egg in it for lunch today. Does your egg hater know that mayonnaise is made with eggs? You can't have potato salad without mayonnaise, right? See, and Donna, I hear you, and I love mayonnaise. I will only eat scrambled eggs, only.
How come she gets, I hear you and I understand, but I get, you're wrong?
Because I work with you and I can say
That's
that. We're
fair.
friends.
That's a fair point. But I mean, I think she brings up a fair point. I feel like if you don't like, do you like the rest of the stuff in the potato salad, or else I'll just throw potatoes in a bowl and be like, here's potato salad. I won't even cook it for you. Raw.
Hard-boiled eggs are gross.
I understand.
Poached eggs should be in a science fiction film.
Yeah,
I could see a poached egg flying through space.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's very, like, poached eggs. Of course, I'll eat a eggs Benny, but like, I understand why. And also, it's of all the eggs to prepare, it's the most difficult. Where they're like, if you do it even slightly wrong, it's destroyed forever.
Right. They're very picky.
Yeah.
Gretchen from Green Bay, listening in Madison on WMDX. Celery is gross. Horrible taste as well as texture. We're all entitled to our opinions, except apparently for Greg.
Hey, excuse me, miss, you're wrong about potato salad. I don't think you just threw your flag down there. No, that one is mind-blowing. Like, cilantro, I get. German potato salad, I get. Eggs, I totally get. Bridget she's not allergic to them, but she absolutely she can't even smell them, or she gets nauseous.
In any form?
Any form.
Wow.
Any form whatsoever. I think and I feel bad, and she feels bad because, like, we go to this restaurant where they throw half a hard-boiled egg onto your Bloody Mary, and she can't tell them she's allergic because she's not. But if she smells it, if it's on her food, she doesn't want to eat it. And I get it, because that's all she smells and sees anymore.
Well,
so,
and it's a very strong scent from a hard-boiled egg in particular, right?
Yeah, and then you've got the little bit of cayenne on there. Is it cayenne, or is it whatever spice they throw on there? I eat them up. I'm fine with that.
It might be.
But I totally understand why people don't like eggs. I understand that. It's not a good looking food.
What's your hard take on food? Your hard take on food, 855-752-4842. Leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter, and text in the word FUN via the Civic Media app by noon today, and you'll be entered in our statewide Scotty Summer Text to Win contest. Stay close. You're listening to Matenaer On Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Oh yeah, in the daytime I'm Mr. Natural, just as healthy as I can be. Oh, but at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me. All right. My friends down at the commune, they think I'm pretty neat. Oh, I don't know nothing about arts and crafts, but I give them all something to eat. I'm a friend to old Yule Gibbons, and I only eat homegrown spice. I got a John Keats autographed Grecianer filled up with my brown rice. Yes, I do. Oh, folks, but lately I have been spotted with a Big Mac on my breath. Stumbling into a Colonel Sanders with a face as white as death. I'm afraid someday they'll find me just stretched out on my bed.
That is really weird. Oh, there we go. I don't know how that happened.
I don't either.
Thank you, Aaron. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer coming to you live from our Civic Media headquarters in downtown Madison, high above State Street. Greg Bach and Calvin on the board, coming to you from Waukesha. Todd Alba and I kicking off our On the Road with Jane and Todd tour today in Madison. Todd is coming up next from noon to 2, and once Todd's show wraps up, we're going to jump in his truck and head to Richland Center. We will be broadcasting live from Richland Center tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And tomorrow we're going to be at Crosscup Park in Richland Center. So if you can come out and join us, bring a lawn chair, maybe bring a little umbrella. It's supposed to be a little bit warm today or tomorrow, but weather is looking good. And then Thursday we're in Eau Claire at Shift Cyclery and Coffee Bar. And then we wrap up our tour Friday in Michael Park in Amory.
Amory.
My favorite place. I haven't been yet, but I will this Friday. Very, very excited about that. You also have a couple of minutes left to text in the word via the Civic Media app. Text the word FUN, F-U-N, and then you are entered in our Scotty Summer Statewide Text to Win contest. Every hour, somebody picks up a Wisconsin Dells Summer prize pack. Every day, somebody gets a pair of Milwaukee Brewers club level seats. And then everybody, whether you win or not, in the drawing for 2 grand prizes. Your choice of a staycation, either in Fort Atkinson, Lake Geneva, or in Dork County. And again, everybody who enters, with winner or not, you are all entered for those grand prizes. And we'll even give you gas to get there and back. So text the word FUN, F-U-N, by noon. And then Todd will have another word. I believe it's Shaquamagon, coming up at 1 o'clock. I can't say that for certain.
I heard it was all one word. Matenaer On Air is the winner. That's what
Is
I
that
heard.
what it is?
It was, all one word. Spelled how it sounds.
Listen to Todd at 1 o'clock. He'll give you the word to text in. We have been taking your hard takes on food. There was this big discussion in the Civic Media general chat this morning about cilantro. Lots of anti-cilantro people. And so we're just curious, what is your, nope, not doing it, you can't make me. We have Liz from Saukville listening on WAUK. I can't stand yellow mustard on anything. Disgusting chemical grossness. Not even on Chicago-style hot dogs.
Oh, Chicago style versus the world is a whole. That's
a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it's just tamper it down, Chicago. We get it. You like junk on your hot dogs.
Angie and Monroe, sorry, listening on WMDX. Raw onions. Nope, not doing it. Can't make me.
Okay, all right. Dave, all are accepted here. We understand that totally and completely. If you like your food, you like your food. If you don't like your food, you don't like your food. We got a clarification from Scott in St. Louis. He said that Splitterkuchen has none of the ingredients that I hate about German chocolate cake, but it's a recipe that she brought back from Germany. So, Scott, it seems like it's not German chocolate cake. It's a cake from Germany, which I'm totally down to try, a Splitterkuchen. And then he also said, and this is a divisive one. But we'll throw down and ruin a Thanksgiving. Hot take: pineapple belongs in pizza. Sweet acid to complement Fort cheese. And I'm going to say this right now. I was in the no pineapple, no Hawaiian pizza camp for so long. And I said that simply because in my brain, it sounded disgusting. And then one day a friend handed me a slice. I tried one. And did you ever do that thing where when you're doing it, you realize in your head, one, you're enjoying it, and two, you're wrong. Like there's the enjoyment factor, and then you're also thinking to yourself, oh God,
wah.
Exactly. Pineapple on pizza is tasty, especially with ham. The sweet and the salt. Yep, bring it.
Texture from 844. My niece hates celery, and so I never buy it. My sister visited and bought celery. My niece's son said, "What is this? I like it." Hot takes on food. 85. Another one listening in Madison. Celery is a negative calorie food. You burn more calories chewing it than when you take it by swallowing it.
I mean, I personally think celery is nothing more than a conduit to get the sauce or the dip to your face.
Absolutely.
It's the perfect portal.
It's a dip delivery system.
Exactly. And it's not a chip, so you get less carbs and it just disappears. It does its job. I can't hate celery because that's so interesting. But it really serves its purpose in the Bach household for hummus.
Ben from West Bend says no fish liver. I am completely with you on that.
What?
Or Chinese food. Now I do love Chinese food.
Oh yeah.
Good Chinese food is absolutely worth it. And Matt from Germantown is asking, listening on WAUK, who is winning the contest between Todd and I? We beat him yesterday by 6 entries. I'm not sure what the overall total is. And this is going to go through Friday. Up for grabs as a steak dinner. Whoever gets the most entries for our text to win contest, whoever loses has to buy the winner a steak dinner at a supper club in Amory. So hopefully we will know the results shortly after Todd's show wraps up on Friday for this highly contestable rivalry we have going.
But Matt, let's face it. Matenaer On Air, the three of us, Jane, Calvin, and myself, we're winning in the hearts of America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We are.
Yeah. Thank you. And spread the word. Spread the word, friend.
And how does one get an extra entry, Greg Buck?
Oh, it's very, very simple. You enter the first time by texting through the app the word. So this hour, it's fun. You got about 3.5 minutes left. And then you're going to get a response back from Civic Media asking you a question. That question is very simple. Are you registered to vote? Answer it yes or no, and you will automatically be entered another time into the contest. So you double your chances every hour because you can participate every single hour.
Yes. Every hour that we play it. So it's 7, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, and 7 o'clock. Lots of chances to win. Everybody who enters, again, whether or not you win a daily or hourly prize, is in the running for that one of those 2 staycations. So everybody's in the running for the grand prize. So fun. You got just a couple of minutes left. Text the word fun via the Civic Media app, and you will be in the running as well. And then we want people to vote. We want people to get involved in the political process. It's really important, more so, and I know we all hear this all the time, this is the most important election of our lives. This one is really important.
It's very important.
All right. We have news coming up next. Then Todd will be slipping into the chair. And just a reminder, tomorrow on the show, while we're in Richland Center, Greg, we've had him on before. Bob Lord from Patriotic Millionaires is going to be joining us at 10:33, and then Dr. Laura Hanks at 11:33 for our public service announcement. So I hope you can join us for that. Want to thank Greg and Calvin and our engineers, and to Todd for getting us all set up here. Thank you so much. Without you guys, nothing works. And thank you most of all to all of you for calling and texting and listening. It means everything. I hope you find some joy today and you have the chance to share it. Stay right here. You're listening to the Civic Media Radio Network.